Thursday afternoon in Bradenton, and the U16s have already secured their spots in the semis. LA Galaxy went down to the wire, stepped up to the spot, and found victory in PK's championship aspirations. We'll now go through a determined Dutch side, PSV Eindhoven, an electric finish against Columbus, a penalty save sends the Netherlands side through, and Real Salt Lake. You score, you celebrate, 10 out of 10 on the flip, 2-0 on the scoreboard. Salt Lake will square off against KRC Genk. The U16s are set. To the U18s we go at the Generation Adidas Cup. Quarterfinal day continues at the Generation Adidas Cup. From first touch to the final whistle, the stars of tomorrow are seeing the pressure rise with every passing day. A spot in the U18 semis on the line now. Chicago Fire and the current Golden Boot leader in this tournament, Vitaly Hoop, getting a second crack at the club that handed them their only loss in group play, Colorado Rapids. Great to have you with us at the IMG Academy in beautiful Bradenton, Florida, alongside Katie Goodman. I'm AJ Ricketts. Katie, the storyline is simple today. The Golden Boot leader in this tournament, Vitaly Hoop, for Chicago against the defense in Colorado that has yet to concede a goal in this entire tournament. Something's got to give today.
Right, it's obviously going to be an offense versus defense situation. I'm excited to see the firepower up top that Chicago Fire is bringing us today, but it's been a while since we've seen a matchup like this. It's been a lot of really close stuff, or anytime there's a lineup where it's complementary, you see some of the scoring open up, but I think this one's really going to be a knockdown, drag-out fight, especially after that Philly game. Lots of yellows and lots of fighting, and so we'll see if they bring that intensity here.
No shortage of storylines throughout this entire tournament, particularly from an MLS perspective. The academies continue to represent themselves with aplomb. 6 of the 8 teams in the quarters, domestic sides, and it's been a particularly pleasant trip to Florida for the contingent from Utah, Real Salt Lake. In the U16 semis, U18s would like to join their fellow academy athletes. Here's a look at the bracket. Winner today will advance to take on the winner of Atlanta United and Portland Timbers, which is also set to get going in moments as well. Soccer's FC Chicago and Santos Laguna. Orlando City and Real Salt Lake on the other side of the bracket vying for those final 4 group spots. Let's get into our lineups today. First for Chicago, Vitaly Hoop, as referenced, leads the way up front.
A name we're going to be saying often, 5 goals. Actually had 10 goals in the last 11 games here in the GA Cup. And Coach says he's got that next man up mentality. Doesn't matter where he's at, whether it's next pro or here, he is ready to go.
Meanwhile, for Colorado Rapids, the defense shines. They've got some players that can put the ball in the net, too.
Grant Gilmore, a goal under his belt, knows how to handle the ball on both sides there. Great, intelligent center back, just leading the way for that back line.
Ready to go here in Bradenton. You just love these matchups where a star striker's on the pitch in high-level form. Everybody knows it. These matches where the continued pursuit of a significant trophy is up for grabs. You've got an element of potential redemption for Chicago. Shut out against this Colorado side days ago. Colorado hoping to make a statement once again that they are, in fact, the better side. Rapids will be going from left to right. Should throw in for Chicago on the far side. Wow. You enter a game with so much confidence from a Rapids perspective when you know what your defense is, what kind of form it is throughout the course of this tournament.
Yeah, not a ton of movement back there, and understandably so, able to really keep their team in it. Part of the challenge is how do you build out of the back with that quality defense that you have, not have to put so much pressure and reliance there on the back line and start really producing up top. Not a ton of goals scored. You do have maximum scored with 2, but I think the challenge here is when it gets into the final minutes, being able to put it away.
Kendall Starks in goal for Colorado today, 16-year-old keeper. Spending a lot of time with Rapids, too. It's Patrick Wojsz on the other side. Polish-American for Chicago.
Got a feisty crowd as well. Both U16 groups showing out in unison.
Yeah, we saw that with Atlanta yesterday. It was our first opportunity to see the U16 supporting their fellow academy products, and it certainly lifted some life into the equation. The players on the pitch embraced that. You could see the energy it gave them. This will be fun to have the U16 support in the stands today too, no doubt.
I love that we're not even 2 minutes in and they're already starting chants and stirring things up over there, and it's a great club to be a part of.
We're going to hear them all match long. Wouldn't have it any other way. Free kick here after the foul. Colorado Rapids through group play. Lost in penalties to DC United to start off their tournament. Since then, a 1-0 win against Chicago, 3-0 against Jacksonville FC, and then against Red Bull yesterday. 1-0 courtesy of a goal by Gilmore. Grant Gilmore in the 47th minute. Max Simpson to take the free kick here. Simpson lofting it just outside the 6, headed down softly for Los to handle with relative ease.
Bodies on the floor early on. Look back at this. It's a nice backside placement. And of course the wind's a little more feisty today, so taking that into account, did a really great job just to lob that one over. The run was good too. Just contested there by Chicago.
Really interesting to watch over the course of this one as Fluke trying to get on the ball for the first time. How they mark Vitaly Hlud over the course of this game. The Chicago U16 supporters energetic early on. Hlud scored in the 7th minute against Philadelphia in that round of 16 matchup yesterday. Would love another early strike today.
Early goals have a better chance of winning games, that's for sure. Sets the tone. It's got to be tough with this kind of defense we're working against here. Colorado Rapids. You think of the first team mentality for the Rapids, a team that loves that 4-3-3, but high presses when necessary, and interesting to see if that plays out here for the U18s.
Handball in the circle there, be a free kick for Chicago. Hlud made his professional debut last March for Chicago Fire 2. Appeared in 16 MLS Next Pro matches last season. Chicago sent a good number of homegrowns and Next Pro products to this tournament.
We talked to some of the coaching staff at the Colorado Rapids, and they'd mentioned he's one of those that they've got his eye on. Has an ability to isolate in the corner and really change up games. Didn't play him in the group stages, so want to know how that's going to change things here.
High and wide first.
Christopher Cups, center back. He was on the bench for the Fire's first team game against Miami at Soldier Field a couple days ago. Did not play in that first matchup. What kind of difference might he make over the course of 60 minutes here? Landon Strohmeyer's first touch. Quickly intervened by Cruz Held, who gets back well. A bit of a shoulder bump, and goes out of play for a goal kick. Strohmeyer, Maxime Scordo, Rogelio Garcia across the front three for Colorado this afternoon.
Talk about the importance of this tournament to bring guys down from Next Pro and even guys who've spent time on the bench of the first team. I think it just says a lot about the caliber of this tournament and why you want to be a part of it.
International competition, of course, as well, although as we talked about in the Open, 6 of the final 8s from the States done more than hold their own. Saw Atlanta United take down Inter Milan yesterday.
Inter Milan has struggled a bit through the tournament, but we've seen some major moments of brilliance from them too. I think just struggling there and executing the attacking third. Something to work on as they move forward.
Janae Rivera leading this Colorado Rapids side. Member of the organization, professional level previously. On the other bench, Sammy Castellanos guiding Chicago Fire, entering this quarterfinal matchup. Rapids with the lone shot in this matchup. so far through just 6 minutes off the free kick. Andre Eriksson tried to split a pair of defenders, does draw the foul. Eriksson, the 17-year-old right back. Quickly, get things started again on the right side. Rapids looking good on this combination play. Sent across the mouth of goal. Momentarily cleared, not convincingly. Now Chicago will send it out of the area. Confident start here from this Colorado side.
Yeah, relentless. Not shying away from that high press mentality early on. I think that's one of those things that is one of those characteristics of the club, is starting out super strong from top to bottom. Whether you're team 1, team 2, team 3.
A throw in here for Colorado's Jaden Chen. Tak was working for. This is a Colorado side. Last year at the GA Cup had a strong showing in the U17s. Won the Premier Division. Of course, right below the Champions Division. After group play, did really well the second half of that tournament. Defeated Toronto to claim the title. And now they're right where they want to be here in Bradenton. This Champions Division. What might they make of their 2025 run?
Closer to 11.
Got some space after the throw in. Two defenders stick a leg in between that pass though. Luke was trying to get free. Vincent Rinaldi was there to the line of safety.
Great awareness, dropping really quickly there, just to account for that challenge.
Chicago Fire enters this quarterfinal matchup after a 2-0 win against Jacksonville. Lost 1-0 to Colorado, as we talked about. Then a 3-1 win against DC United. Gonna play it across. Ryan Hauser was in the area. It'll be a throw for Chicago. And Luke scored in the 7th minute against Philadelphia. That was enough to earn the victory. It's an eye-opening victory the way Philadelphia has performed in GA Cups and MLS next playoff events. Their academy teams are always one of the tougher outs year in and year out. So Chicago hadn't caught the attention of folks here in Bradenton. They certainly did yesterday.
Yeah, Philly, you can always guarantee to bring that East Coast mindset and grind. It's a knockdown, drag-out fight there.
We were talking with fellow analyst Caitlin Carr before the broadcast. He was saying that the physicality stood out in the game. Almost wonders how they might come out today after such an emotional performance like that. A little bit on the back foot, perhaps in the opening stages. 10 minutes in, third of the way through this first half, 30-minute half. 60-minute match here in the U18s at this juncture. Long cross, chested down. Daniel Zepeda will play it off back. Chase Nagel, longtime member of this academy, across the middle of the pitch. Pineda. Here's Haluk.
Maxime, a little closer to 23.
Held is trying to contribute in the attacking phase on the right side. Bit of possession here from Chicago. How have you felt they've handled the opening third of this first half?
It's been tough. They've been on the back foot a little bit, just trying to handle the onslaught there of Colorado, which is interesting considering they have all the firepower up top.
Very good. Very good.
Colorado doing a great job to defend from up top and back, forcing the ball wide. They haven't had many opportunities through the middle of the field either. Probably know better.
Wider. Go ahead.
Just one combined shot for the two clubs through the first 11+ minutes.
Okay.
Eriksson.
Good, you're in. You're in.
Down the right side, a looping ball in service to him. Instead it's Scordo. Initially tried to track it down. Simpson dispossessed well. Neda on top of it immediately. Avenues being shut down quickly here for Colorado, despite spending more time in the attacking half.
It's a really good step from Pineda there, just to direct that one out wide. Andre Eriksson getting a lot of attention over here on the right side. Lots of movement in and out. Love to see it from an outside back. More and more nowadays, you want an outside back who can get up and contribute in the attack. Looks like he's one of those. Wide open in the corner, yeah.
3 defenders surrounding Garcia. Play it back. This is the best spell of possession here for Colorado. Long cross hung up in the air, allowed Zepeda to track it first. Eriksson. Simpson clipping it through. Headed initially by Cups. Simpson. Cups reads it well again. Still some bartering for it. Chased down on the far side. Is there any space to put a dangerous ball on frame? Chicago confident in defense there.
Great stuff. Definitely seeing their quality, their defense tested early on. But a chance to capitalize in transition if they can get numbers up and out of that congested area in the back. Just something to be aware of, especially as Colorado's on the front foot.
Said Dominic Furs is called for the foul. He's committed to Marquette to begin his collegiate soccer career. The Golden Eagles. Just saw David Korn take over the head coaching role. 4 NCAA tournament appearances for the Marquette Eagles. Furs will be a freshman here soon. Held did well to play that like he did with his back towards goal initially.
Yeah, but got to settle it. Moving out of the back, a lot of back and forth here through the middle of the park. Trying to bring it down and start to possess.
Somewhat of a disjointed first 15 minutes. Colorado pushing forward. It's a good combination play far side, but the flag is up though.
Ah, really too bad. Some really good stuff just moving into that space for Colorado. I feel like up until this point, it's been just a lot of intense pressure up top, almost, you know, defending offensively on the other side of the field. But here was a development moving into the attack. Could have been a really good chance. Dreaded offside flag. Gets us all at one point.
You wonder how much, I think one of the bigger storylines of this one in terms of personnel is Christopher Cups being at that center back spot. How much of a difference might that make? Such a steady presence. That next pro experience. He's on the bench for the first team.
I'm sure it gives a lot of confidence to the guys in front of him. You know, not so worried about maybe letting a ball through so that they can maybe get up in a more attacking position. Of course, you don't want to throw them to the wolves by any means, but
that's a real sense that you feel, whether you're a forward, whether you're a midfielder, as Chicago does well to take it away in a potentially advantageous area. They do earn a corner kick off of this, but when you're a midfielder, you do feel a little bit more confidence when you know your back four is steady and has someone like Cups back there.
Yeah, you feel a lot more confident making some checks and runs that you might not normally if things are a little rocky in the back, getting a little more creative and tricky.
Amir Herrera will walk over to take the corner kick. It's the first corner for either side today. Looped in delicately here, but ultimately all too much pace on this. Harmless.
Trey, just got to adjust your supporting angle. Hey, If we're building with 3, just
Enjoyed talking with the Colorado coaching staff prior to this game. The quote that stuck out to me, I asked what impressed you most about your win yesterday against New York. He said, honestly, our ability to suffer.
Yeah, yeah.
I like that.
Put that on a T-shirt, you know?
Didn't feel they played at their best. Grew into the game over the course of the second half. I really admired his club's toughness and their willingness to press through when things were not going well. The ability to suffer. Yeah, I was fired up listening to him.
Yeah, that's what these tournaments teach you. I mean, as the days go by, legs get heavier, days get hotter, and you're definitely going up against the best of the best talent in your age group. It's not just another tournament. It's one of the best tournaments that you can be a part of in the United States. So this is where you develop that grit and mentality. And if you can't push through this, good luck pushing through other stuff, you know? Just make sure you're drinking Messi's Moss Plus water so that you don't get any cramps.
It's everywhere here in Bradenton. And I first go without the other. That's excellent stuff.
Yeah, I like the pink flavor.
Yes. Can't go wrong with it. Is that strawberry lemonade? I don't know.
Tomato. Tastes pretty good. We had a lot of cramping in the game yesterday evening. I think that was a telltale sign of things heating up, as days progress, muscles getting tight. So important to work on mobility and all the stuff in between these games.
It is a slightly bit warmer yesterday and today than the opening stages of this tournament. Ultimately, though, fantastic Florida weather for this time of year. Knock on wood, we've stayed dry all week.
Yeah, you never know in Florida. Super unpredictable. Literally knock on wood right now.
Shouldn't have even brought it up. Now I'm the one to blame if this changes.
A little more wind today, which does kind of change things, but not as bad as that first day.
That's a good ball to the far side.
Beautiful.
Lutz operating in the center here. First. Surrounded on his run to the touchline. We'll lay it off back. Held. Nothing there despite the encouraging sequence. Chicago trying to keep it in the attacking half. How can Chicago find more of semblance of an offensive profile here?
A little bit more movement up top. I think right now they're, so caught off guard having to defend so heavily that they're still looking for the field to open up. Ball coming our way, but not quite. But still looking for the field to open up, and I think once they start getting in that flow, you're going to see a little bit more off the ball movement. Some more creative stuff moving into the attacking third. Good fight for the 50-50.
Well, in this battle between Vitali Lut and the Colorado back four, it's the Rapids side right now with the upper hand. Hauser first, Lut trying to unlock things defensively, but it's probably the most impressive defensive unit at the GA Cup in the U18s so far throughout this tournament.
You see why they're difficult to get past. Super compact, obviously very organized, and I think the defense for them happens higher up the field. You know, it's starting with their midfielders, and that way you're not putting so much on your back line. It's nothing like having a world-class defensive center mid to help you out.
That will go a long way. And despite their defensive profile, they still scored 5 times here in this tournament. Don't forget that, too.
Grant Gilmore being one of those, as we had mentioned earlier in the broadcast. Definitely a standout on this team. Where's number 59 with the bright green boots out there? Hard to miss him.
Probably feels like night and day for Colorado from their mentality after day one, right? Scoreless, lost in penalties. Thinking, uh-oh, this might not be our year. Since then, 3 straight wins, all is well.
Right, they really opened up the scoring versus Jacksonville FC. You know, a lot of times you look at different lineups that they're up against, and that does not matter for them. Doesn't matter if someone's in a 4-2-3-1 or a 4-3-3. They're just bringing their best every time. It's interesting to see the challenges that each squad faces at different levels.
In recent year, from a first-team perspective, the Rapids have had, let's say, fluctuations, okay, in performance. 2023 saw them miss the playoffs. 2024 was better, 7th place in the West, but an early exit in the first round against LA Galaxy. This year is off to a promising start, though, currently 5th in the West with 11 points. Strohmeyer here, he's got some space and earns a corner kick. George Mihailovic has been instrumental for the first team, and a thrilling brace recently against Charlotte, earned Player of the Week honors for there. Keegan Roseberry providing leadership in the back. Zach Steffen brings all that international experience in goal. It'll be interesting to watch Colorado's first team progress over the rest of 2025, see if they can make a deeper run to the playoffs this year. Their U18s with a corner kick right now, their first of the match. High arcing ball. Nobody on the other side of it.
It's a little off the mark there. That one's hard to handle in that moment.
Well done to dispatch his defender. Simpson across the mouth. The goal! The Rapids roar from the bench. It's 1-0 Colorado.
Absolute clinic in the attacking third, making the most off of that corner opportunity. It's the third ball there. It's the 1v1 that really gets him in behind, sets him up for success, and just poking it through. Great work there from Maxim Skordo, adding third goal to the stat sheet. Right place at the right time, and it felt like a matter of time here for Colorado. Came out with a bang. We've seen this high pressure in the attacking third this whole 23 minutes, really dominating this game. Finally able to find a seam.
Maxime Skordo, he's the leading goal scorer for his club throughout next competition. 22 of them last year. Among the top 5 in his league as well. That is what he does. He scores goals, and plenty of them. Gives Simpson so much credit for that one-on-one move and playing it across. It's 1-0 to Colorado in the waning stages of the first half.
Yeah, take notes on that 1v1 battle there. Did a great job just getting in behind. So plenty of time for Chicago to make something happen here, but as you can see, Colorado now sitting back a little more, giving Chicago that space to play forward.
How might this change the aggressiveness for Lou? Colorado played a physical brand of soccer on him here in this first half. This is exactly where the Rapids want to be. They're up a goal. They've yet to concede one in this tournament.
It was 25 minutes of high press and high intensity there from Colorado. Understandable once they get that goal, sit back, defend a little bit, press again when the time's right. Also really hard to judge when it's a 30-minute half too, though.
Maxime Skordo, MLS Next All-Star a few years ago as well when he was with Strikers FC. Had a historic goal-scoring season for him. That earned him his opportunity with the Rapids, and he continues to make the most of it. Here's Garcia now. Threads that through defenders. Skordo's hunting a second. Look how far back Lou is from doing anything positive in the front half. Trying to help out defensively. Does earn a throw for his side. Chicago has all sorts of goal scorers through their academy system. Remember Darius Height, I think U15s, and a fantastic performance at the MLS Next Cup playoffs. A similar goal scoring profile, and Hilou held in check so far today. Furs is the one challenging here. Commits the foul. Chicago supporters not thrilled with that call. Energy dampened just for the moment, though.
To the moments where you got to pick your head up, get after it. Time is ticking down to make that comeback. And it's always tough when it's team-wide, you know. That's where you need your spark. That's where you need your super sub to come in and get things going.
Chicago has yet to record a shot in this first half.
You know what they say, defense wins championships. But goals win games.
If any team is built to stay competitive in a matchup like this, Chicago does fit that profile.
It's 2-4-3-3 teams here, similar profiles, and I think the challenge when going up against a similar system is how can you kind of exploit and change things a bit. I think Colorado did a really good job of that with the high press initially. Sitting back kind of confuses the opponent a little bit. How can you, if you're building out from Chicago, try to spread the field and create some passing lanes, maybe look for a more direct approach.
Strohmeyer went down, a foul on Chicago. When do you think about shape adjustments from a tactical perspective?
Well, I think for a lot of these clubs, they want to be consistent with first and second teams, and so it's less about who they're against and more about what they're preaching and practicing, right? But I think there are some moments where within a 4-3-3, you can be more direct and have a high press. It doesn't have to be like a 5-3-2 or any of that. But you can ebb and flow within that shape. It's just the way that you can contract and expand in those moments. So I think Colorado was the perfect display of changing that mentality within the shape. Speaking of mentality, Coach referred to his group as mentality monsters. Another t-shirt worthy quote there. Because that's what it's going to take to get to the top.
Impressive group here from Colorado. Mature, businesslike, and executing at a high level. Just 1 minute of stoppage time here to conclude the first half. And of course, the winner of this matchup will square off against the victor of Atlanta and Portland. That match at the half, no score. It's on the field right behind us.
In behind, runs in behind.
Scordo.
Simo, stay for Phil. Simo, stay for Phil.
Overlapping run by Garcia there. Doesn't lead to anything. That's a good move to continue from Zepeda, but his run cut off.
Unlucky, not able to keep carrying that. Looked like a strange bounce over there on that side of the field.
It's been a relatively stress-free 30 minutes for Colorado keeper Kendall Starks.
Sometimes that's the biggest challenge. In the blink of an eye, you're under fire. So it's staying warm during that whole time. I don't know how they do it during cold games.
The weather perfect here, but the scoreline anything but for Chicago. No goals, no shots. How about this Colorado outfit? That's exactly what they expected coming in. Strong defense, and they have still yet to allow a goal at the GA Cup. The defensive dominance continues. Much more coming up here at the half from Bradenton. Through 30 minutes, it's Colorado Rapids 1, Chicago Fire 0.
It was a sizzling start to our quarterfinal afternoon here in Bradenton, Florida, at the 2025 Generation Adidas Cup. Michael Watring and Kalen Carr wrapping things up after PSV advances to the semifinals against Columbus Crew, and they very much had a stranglehold early in this game.
Yeah, and they continue to step their line of confrontation, and it's Ezekiel Amaga who wins that ball, and the first ball goes directly to Hunter, who turns on it very well here. It's just one touch and a simple finish to give PSV the early advantage here.
That came in the 8th minute of the game, and PSV would continue to push forward. Another build from the back. Hunter to Colas for the second.
Yeah, but once again, it's the ball that comes in from Amaga, who was such a handful to deal with. The Netherlands Youth International was just tremendous, playing up a year, and finds Hunter again. An unselfish pass as a 9. When you drift out wide, that's when you need runners to come in. And an excellent timing there from Colas to come in and you get the easy tap in.
And right before halftime, Columbus Crew drew a penalty. Apollo Morench stepped to the spot.
Yeah, I thought this was actually a pretty good tackle here from the Dutch Youth International, Ton Benz, and this was a big chance missed from Morench just before halftime, the timing of it, but give them credit, they didn't quit. Columbus came back out in the second half with renewed energy, and it's a moment of magic, a clever one from Ruschek to go from a difficult angle when the keeper is guessing. Moot thought they might go in with a cross. Instead, the technique from Ruschek to pick out that top corner and bring Columbus back in this.
And then on the very final kick of the game, Ruschek to Bonos on the back post to tie it.
How about this for drama? On the literal last kick of the match, Columbus didn't quit, and once again is Ruschek with a wonderful ball into the back corner, and then in comes Bonos, and it's pandemonium. Columbus had all the momentum going to penalties, but Eskil Moot had different ideas.
Van Camp missed the opening kick in round 1, so Columbus had the early edge in round 1. But as you mentioned, Moot stops Prestis, and he did the rest.
Yeah, you're just hoping for your goalkeeper to give you one. Just say, give us one save. That's all we can ask. And Moot continued to pile them on as far as saves go. And PSV grew in confidence, rebounding from that mental sort of difficult moments of conceding in the last minute, and then Moot was able to carry them through with a few big saves, 3 of them.
3 saves in the final 4, and it's PSV Eindhoven to the semifinals of the U16 championship bracket.
Halftime here at the Generation Adidas Cup. Good game thus far. Chicago Fire and Colorado Rapids. It's this Colorado outfit with the 1-0 advantage through 24 in the 24th minute. 30 minutes of play. Glad to have you with us here in Bradenton. We've had Joe Fletcher with us in the broadcast booth all week. Glad to put the headset on and chop it up a little bit about the beautiful game. The head of Pro, the refereeing organization, evaluating, analyzing, just being a resource for referees all throughout the country. Joe, pleasure to have you with us. How you enjoying GA Cup? What you seen out there? How you enjoying this?
Thanks for having me, AJ. I'm really enjoying it out here, right? It brings you back and remembering the days when I was active, and this is where everybody starts, right?
Yeah.
There's a lot of similarities between the pathway for referees as the pathway for players, and this is where the stars of tomorrow are born.
So how do you identify some of those stars of tomorrow in these situations?
Well, I've got the help of some U.S. Soccer national referee coaches who are going around to all the fields, and if you had to make a comparison, it's the same as the national team scouts that are here. They're looking for key qualities, good decision-making, confidence under pressure, and how they deal with the intense moments.
That's something that it's been really fun to watch from, being just feet away from the coaches, the fourth official, and a lot of the referees, whether they're having conversations with the players, calming things down, or the coaching staff. How much of an emphasis goes into those kind of conversations, acquiescing, tense anger moments, and those tense situations?
People think referees, and the first thing to think of is the law book. Oh, we have to enforce A, B, C, D, E. Actually, most of what we have to do is people management.
Yeah.
You've got two conflicting sides. They're doing everything they can to advance, and you're doing your best to try to keep the peace while upholding the laws. It's a bit of a job, but you know what? So far, I'm happy with what we're doing.
I hope they pay you well for that. I mean, that's a tough job to make everyone mad on both sides, and you have to be kind of that voice of reason. What would you say is the biggest challenge of your job as a leader of all of these referees who face that challenge, game after game?
I think one of the hardest parts of this job is that you have, say, 10 great candidates. You pick one person to do the final. Almost like you have 10 great players, you have one person that makes the national team. You've got 9 no messages, or 9 maybe next time messages. And that's not always easy to convey when you've seen the person has done their best, they've done really well. It just so happens that that one last person was just this much better.
As the game is going on, I'm jotting down shots on goal, corner, kind of doing my notes, and I feel every time I'm writing, I look to my right. You're writing something as well. What do your notes consist of? What are you evaluating? Every whistle, something comes to mind. What's going in your notebook?
More often than not, it's the moments in between whistles that I'm sitting here noting, and just where a referee is, because it's understandable that as a human, you're going to make the odd, incorrect judgment. What I'm looking for is, can they put themselves in the best spot to make the best judgment, and how do they do that? Because it's one thing to say, you missed. Well, can I do something to make them just a little bit better? And if I can do that, I feel good about myself.
Right.
It's such a challenge because you're right there in the middle of it, especially the center ref. There's a couple times you're just trying to get out of the way and let the game happen, but you also have to be there to see what's happening. So interesting to see that, and also how there are more women coming into the refereeing scene, especially on the men's side. What do you have to say about that? And
it is, I need a human being who can blow a whistle and do a job. Their gender is irrelevant to me. Their quality is of most important to me. And we have some excellent female match officials who are appearing at this level all the way to the top level. So if a person can do the job, all the more the merrier.
No doubt about it. I want to ask, too, about how the VAR incorporation is into the next pro game, just where that's going down the road. We were talking a little bit about that off camera, and just initiatives that you're looking at and incorporating whatever league it may be.
Well, we'll wait and see how it turns out, but I know that MLS, again, wanting to lead in the forefront of innovation, is looking at video support, because maybe the grand VAR system is a little bit too vast for someone that may only have 2 or 3 camera angles. Well, IFAB has approved the trials for video support, and I know that our friends at MLS Next were testing out to see maybe they can put in the application, and should that be approved, who knows? Maybe we could see video support as the next year, next 2 years. That'd be great.
I'm looking forward to seeing where those innovations go, and looking forward to hanging out a little bit more in the broadcast booth the rest of the way. Thanks for joining us on the broadcast.
Pleasure.
Thanks, Joe. Joe Fletcher with Pro, the Professional Referees Organization. We're at halftime right now of excellent quarterfinal game. Spot in the semis on the line. Let's take a look at the highlights through 30 minutes of play. AJ Ricketts, Katie Goodman, glad to have you with us for Colorado and Chicago. This was the goal-scoring sequence. Max Simpson dispatching his defender, laying it across, and brilliantly placed in goal there for the first.
Simpson, really the genius of this play, able to get up in the corner, a nice little pump fake into space, attracts the defenders, finds a seam, sets his teammate up for success, and the goal is made, the deal is done.
Not much else there in the first half, whether from a Colorado or Chicago perspective. 2 combined shots, you saw 50% of it right there. That's all Colorado has needed thus far. We're just about set to begin the second half. Will be a pair of substitutes for Chicago to begin this second half. Matthew Machulis and Damian Villanueva. Villanueva's made a couple of appearances in MLS Next Pro. Machulis, youth internationals, represented the Lithuanian U17 national team.
Again, so much high caliber talent, so many eyes watching these games and opportunities all the way around across the board. I think really if you're a coach in any league, this is a spot you want to be, whether you've got a team in it or not.
Just getting the green light from the 4th official. Now we're good to go. Second half, Colorado in Chicago underway. Glad to have you with us on the MLS YouTube channel. Alongside former Mississippi State athlete Katie Goodman, I'm AJ Ricketts. Colorado with a 1-0 lead. Just like that, out of the gates, Colorado with a corner kick.
Phil! Okay, Rogelio's coming.
Second of the match for the Rapids. Driven ball short. Headed right back out. They'll do it once again.
You got to hand it to Colorado. They waste no time getting up the field and creating problems.
A little bit more. A little bit more. Inside, but
I think it's a shock there for Chicago.
Third corner kick.
Third time's the charm, as they say. Again, this wind is a little difficult, blowing towards the corner.
Go get it, Grant.
Hammer it towards the center. Flicked on this time, out of play. Chicago able to, at last, clear the area. Well, today's spotlight on the next wave of red and navy, the senior side back home in Chicago. They're turning heads as well. We're talking about the Rapids first team. Looking at Chicago, too. They entered the MLS season. Quiet expectations after missing the playoffs last year. A rebuilt roster, no doubt about that. And we're already a third of the way through the MLS season. They're in the top 4 in the East. Some good production from Hugo Kuipers. He's led the way. 19-year-old midfielder. Oriel pulling the strings, started every match. Love that kind of production from a young player. Of course, a lot of excitement over that match against Inter Miami the other day. 62,000 in Soldier Fields. Chicago may very well find themselves in the postseason this year. There's a lot of true optimism along the lakefront now. That's felt too here at the GA Cup. And last year, this U17 side made a run of the semifinals. Looking to get a little further here in 2025.
Can't forget Chris Brady, a homegrown goalkeeper through the Chicago system. It's always good to see players who can come in young and continue into their well of age.
You talk about the Academy alums from the Chicago system. Several homegrown players have made significant impacts. Gabriel Salina set the record as the youngest starting goalkeeper in MLS history before he transferred to Chelsea a couple years ago. Brian Gutierrez became a force in the midfield. You mentioned Brady. Now Mauricio Pineda also big part of the action. His younger brother, Rafi, looking to contribute today. Mauricio was the first ever homegrown.
That's right.
Fire.
Incredible family. Also, his sister played D1, so coach was laughing, saying his parents went 3 for 3 on athletes. That's great.
That's a great cross to the back post, just high. This is better. Machulis very close to getting ahead on that. Re-energized U16 side, providing their support too after this sequence.
Starting to heat up a little bit for Chicago, just not quite enough. Gonna have to increase the intensity here.
Good takeaway in the midfield. Now Strohmeyer doesn't have a lot of help at the moment. Now clips it inside. Spin, a turn. Simpson, a bit jumbled in the area.
Almost had a nice run through that back line. Chicago doing well to shut that down.
Chantak chests it down, flips it across. Dangerous moment here. Wow, off the crossbar. Almost a moment of the tournament there for Colorado. Inches away.
Absolute scenes there. Doing great to put it out wide, but it's that chip in. Trying to do anything that he can with it. Talk about the first touch to set himself up. Really testing the keep here. Patrick Lowe's.
Give Lowe's a lot of credit. The U.S. Youth Internationals made 23 appearances for Chicago Fire too. That nearly slipped on by. Another corner. Lowe's punching it away convincingly this time.
Bicycle kick attempt from Rogelio Garcia. Spent some time on the Mexican youth national team. Quality is really evident there.
Yeah, just represented them at the Four Nations tournament in Germany. This is sent on goal. And now Lowe's facing a bit more pressure here in the second half.
Rogelio, the fourth academy product to sign with Rapids too, so very clear he's really comfortable in those tight situations.
Pair of shots in quick succession and then a little bit of a shove right before that throw in. Everything de-escalated quickly. First, flipping it over the top. A little bit of indecision in goal for a moment. Starks looked like he was running out, then held up at the last second. His teammate on the pitch.
Chicago's starting to cook something up here. Sometimes it takes a minute just to figure out the opponent and find out what works.
Well, I'll ask you this. As the athletic training staff coming out here. We'll get back to that in a moment. Let's take a look at this save here again on the bicycle. Wow.
Wow, beautiful, and really forced Los to get up. Paw it over. So hard to do when there's so much traffic, so much in front of the keeper. Great reaction time. Here's a look at the injury.
Vincent Rinaldi. Some time. Joined the academy in 2022. He's now progressed to Rapids too. Just made his debut for Rapids too 11 days ago. Coming up after this, stay with us on the YouTube channel here on MLS. 4:30 p.m. start Orlando City and Real Salt Lake. As all these teams continue to vie for a spot in the semifinals.
I think that's going to be the game you really want to watch there. Lots of, on both sides, lots of guys playing in MLS Next Pro.
That right there, that scene, that's where I need to find myself.
There you go. That's what's next.
That's
for
next
us.
for me. You talk about scenes. I need to get a beach chair, and that's it. That's all I need. I'll be posted up there for a while.
There you go. Just use that sunscreen. Nothing like this Florida sun.
Maybe a moss water too. Get my plugs in. Physicality increasing a little bit here, 10 minutes into the second half. And Garcia now on the pitch. What do we see here?
Lots of jersey pulling. Nice hand to the face to put a stop to that.
Phil, you and Luca, always one on him. One can go higher. One can go higher.
He's going to stay with Chicago here.
Wherever he goes, strong side.
By the way, Rinaldi back on the pitch here for Colorado. He's okay now.
Chase, chase.
Strohmeyer. Four red jerseys in that area. Send it away towards midfield. 40 minutes into the match, 0 shots for Chicago. How can they find anything offensively here? Only 20 minutes to go to try to save their Champions Division run.
Well, I think just connecting from the midfield forward, they're really struggling to do that. I think part of that is just the defense we're seeing from Colorado in that space. Landon Strohmeyer doing a great job getting back and just shutting things down early. As you can see, Colorado doing a great job just to try to force the ball. So even when it's out of possession, they're still trying to dictate play. I think for for Chicago, also just cleaning up that first touch a bit. It's hard to get out of that mindset when you're behind, struggling to connect passes. It starts with the first, 2, 3, 4 passes. Focus on getting possession, finding a rhythm, then moving forward. I know you want to be fast with it, find pace, and get up, but a lot of it is forced because they're just not connecting.
Connective thread between the midfield and front line, noticeably absent today in comparison to their GA Cup run the last couple of afternoons here at IMG Academy. They started this off with a convincing win against Jacksonville, ended group play with a 3-1 win against DC. 1 goal in the 7th minute. That's all they needed yesterday. It was the defensive effort that resonated against Philadelphia. They are starting to be compromised here with under 20 minutes to go. They do not want to bow out of the Champions Division, being held scoreless.
Good effort to try to save that. You can hear the U16s for Chicago trying to rally and ramp them up. It's really what they need right now, some sort of spark. It's good to be calm and composed, but maybe put an uptick in the intensity.
I do feel the sense of urgency needs to develop soon here.
Yeah, and sometimes it starts out of the back.
Good idea to go in the middle of the pitch there. Villanueva, just a step behind the defender charging up. Cups was held by Scordo.
For Chicago, some of their best scoring came against DC United, 3-1 result. 2 goals from Hoot in 16 and 21. Been really quiet today. Excuse me, 16 and 21st minute. Been really quiet today. And, think about DC United as they were running a 4-2-3-1. Maybe just the fact that it opened up a little more allowed for them to create and find seams. But still they didn't have trouble against scoring against other teams with similar lineups to theirs. So hard to say what's going on here.
I mean, if Colorado can keep this scoreline the rest of the way, you know, we talked about how Lutz raised eyebrows with his offensive performance and how the Chicago team caught the attention of a lot of folks here at that win against Philadelphia. I think Colorado will garner a lot of headlines for what they continue to do defensively. They get a fifth straight shutout. And possibly continue this kind of form. We got to start to do the research. Well, how many teams have gotten 5 games in with the shutout? How many have gotten 6? How many have done the whole tournament, perhaps?
Right. I mean, you have to hand it to Colorado. They're doing an incredible job of just stopping really anything from progressing. Case in point there, fantastic read. Chicago here with numbers up. Let's see.
Could this be the moment Chicago at least generates a shot? Zepeda, long cross. Chulis has to chase it down out of play. 45th minute on the field behind us. Atlanta and Portland, no score. That's on pace for a potential shootout. Colorado out shooting Chicago just 4-0 here. 45 minutes of play, 3/4 of the way through regulation. Whistle blows along the far side. This will be a free kick for Chicago. And the importance of a set piece like this grows when there has been so little to hang their hat on through the run of play.
Right. In a tricky spot here. Could be a good idea to look for top of the 18 potential.
Got cups in the box too. I certainly would agree with that course of action here. Center back in the box, tallest player on the pitch. Set piece, whipped in, headed out off the 6. Second ball settles 30 yards out. Chicago appeals for a handball and another free kick.
These are the kind of moments that can change the game. You know, convert a really good set piece. Look back at this handball. Of course, not intentional. He turns, gets the upper part of the arm, but still counts. Good eye from the ref there. And these are the parts of the game that can really change things. If they can convert here or get a close call. Even a hitting of the post is enough to inject you with adrenaline to make you want a little more.
Do they possibly take a shot towards goal here? Villanueva stands to the right of it. Will it be Flu? Excuse me. Villanueva, driven with real intent, parried away. The first time today, Kendall Starks has been called into action. Critical intervention here.
I love that he just took that one, had the confidence to do it, really put the keeper under pressure there. Kendall Starks has not had to do a ton this game, but he did it right there. I mean, look at this. Look at the feet movement there, too. Just quick feet, able to get in position.
A much less dangerous corner kick follows. Does this provide a spark for this Windy City side? That was real danger in net for Starks. Fabulous bending ball, too. Villanueva. That was curling, and that was destined for goal. This is Cruz held now. Sprays it wide. Zepeda. Had it stolen away and then committing the foul.
When you've got a team like the Rapids doing a really good job of defense, you've just got to get creative up top. You've got to have more runs, checked in and out, movement. Things are looking kind of stagnant for Chicago as they move into the attack. Even if it's your two center forwards or who are in that area, if you can just switch it up. Someone check back so someone can move in. Just something to cause problems for the defense. It becomes predictable to read if you continue doing the same thing. Or even look for the late run. Maybe work to get towards the end line and look for a late run.
Yeah, there has to be some sort of adjustment, you'd feel. It's just over 10 minutes to play. Colorado is yet to go to their bench. We might see the first substitute for the Rapids here momentarily as Quinn Bedwell is walking over to the fourth official. Pedro Venegas as well. This back four has been more than formidable. Chantak, Rinaldi, Gilmore, Erickson. Can Chicago crack the code nobody else has this week in Bradenton? It bounces in front of Flew. Some miscommunication now. Starks gobbles on top of it in the end.
Really close call there for Colorado. Good thing Starks is there to collect it. Look back at this. Great ball in, but just really taking their time, trying to let the keeper get it. It's understandable, but close call.
Machulis, almost the beneficiary there of that miscue. He's fighting through. Defender shielding him from the ball. 51st minute. Quarterfinals of the GA Cup. Colorado has their first two substitutes ready to go. Chicago's looked better here in the last 5 minutes. Will it be too little too late in this 60-minute match? Winner plays the victor of Atlanta and Portland. This is held. Delivered that service in on the cross moments ago. Cups. Back to Patrick Los.
Looking at Chicago Fire, where's the movement in the center midfield? Check in and now create some passing lanes. You can see he's kind of stuck here looking for the next best thing. But you want that pass to happen before Colorado has a chance to close it down. And it's hard to do initially to have that kind of off-the-ball movement. It's very tiring, especially in this heat, but it's what you have to do to get things moving and going.
Hauser's been working hard on that far side. Whistle blows the play dead now. Colorado may get their substitutes in. Three of them.
Not in a rush to get off the field either.
Quinn Bedwell comes on. Pedro Venegas. Jace Rand. A new three on the pitch. Maxime scored over the goal scorer. Maybe cramping up a little bit, walking somewhat gingerly off the pitch. Does look to be okay. Strohmeyer, his day done as well. The Rapids would love to put this one away, make it 2-0. really feel confident about the way this one's heading. Vitaly has not had a shot today. The only shot for Chicago coming on the free kick. Chicago's U16s trying everything they can to keep the energy and belief going. Chance being recycled in the stands.
Doing a really good job of it. I mean, they're jumping, they've got flags, everything. Good for them. Chicago maybe get a little more pace in the back line. See, this is the thing that Colorado does. 1 minute it's a high press, 1 minute they're sitting back. It's just hard to read. Really well executed.
Chase Nagel back to his longtime Academy teammate Chris Cups.
That would have been a good time to put it backside, but up in the corner here.
This interesting now. Headed towards frame, and it's above the net. Nothing there. That was covered anyway by Starks.
I think a bit of a quicker service in. Back might have been a great opportunity. That's just a tough one when you've already got the defense set. It's kind of anybody's ball there, but still a great service in. Good win from Cups. Wanting to call for it, not going to get it.
'56th minute, right beside us. Portland, Atlanta. Goals at a premium in the U18s today in the quarterfinals. This is intriguing here. Man goes down in the box. Whistle is blown. Colorado will be going to the spot. A chance to put the nail in the coffin here.
To put the nail in the coffin, indeed. Now look at this. The run is in, and it's just a trip in the box. Classic trip, but players still not up, working through that knock.
Quinn Bedwell went down.
We're going to have another look at that. Let Joe put some eyes on it.
Look at me, Vinny. Switched on, aware here, okay? We sort this out.
And Los just got himself a yellow for slamming the ball there. You saw his frustration apparent.
Yeah, frustration's running high. It's understandable. He's now in a tough spot, and things just haven't been going their way. It's very unlike this team, who has had so much quality and so much goal-scoring power. And again, Rapids a chance to seal the deal.
Phil Pock at the spot. This surely could do it for Colorado. With less than 3 minutes remaining, Pock puts it through, and Colorado are surely on to the semis now.
A really strong team that trusts Phil Pock to put it away. Great stuff there. I mean, we've seen PKs all weekend long, but here's a replay of that foul. Got confirmation that the ref made the right call on that. And then here's the finish. Good work there from Los, guessing the right direction, but just can't get to that pace.
How impressive a side is this? Just formidable. They score goals. They know where each other are at all the right times. And look, in these U18 sides, you have a lot of roster turnover, right? Players going up to next pro, U16 guys playing up. It's not like you're going to have the same back four, same outfit for every single game. So to avoid a miscue, even just one, the kind of nature that would cost yourself a goal against the kind of competition we've seen here all week, it's just wildly impressive.
Really is. All of these guys working through a ton.
Bedwell brought down. This might be the third card to come out in a matter of moments, and it is. More time ticking off the clock here.
Another foul from behind for Chicago as well. You can see, I believe it was Josue Frommer walking away from that one. And then again, Colorado with another chance.
They probably appreciate the time running off the clock as much as the set piece here itself. Good service in. And now they'll take the corner. 6th of the match. Five minutes of stoppage time. Hard to do anything with that corner as it rolls towards the fence. And the Chicago defensive unit has played admirable themselves. Only allowing 5 shots through the entirety of this match. A little bit too much space in the box off of excellent cross in from Simpson.
Still 5 minutes of extra time to go. I think you're Chicago. It's how can we make these next 5 minutes the best? End on a good note. And if you're Colorado, defend like your life depends on it. Just keep doing what you're doing. It's just a good example of what happens when, as a team, you show up quick and fast and choose to be the decision maker of the game.
We talked about it early in the broadcast. We were wondering how might Chicago come out today after just how physical it was yesterday against Philadelphia, how much they had to invest in that win. Even though they scored early, it was a 1-0 game. I mean, you have to grind for a win against Philadelphia. Maybe we saw a little bit of that hangover today.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think you're spot on there, because this team has a ton of quality, goal scoring, power and prowess, and you see that reflected in the off-ball movement. You know, the not putting in the extra effort to make the check into the open space, or the overlapping run, or whatever it may be. Really, wingers have been kind of quiet on both sides, and a lot of that happens when you've just poured your heart and soul into the last game.
They're putting everything into the final moments here, even despite the score 9. Villanueva does draw a foul. And we just saw what he did from a bit further out a few minutes ago, really testing Kendall Starks. Would be of no surprise to see a similar effort here. Maybe it would be Hoot this time, looking for his first shot of the match too. Colorado setting up that wall.
If they can close that gap in the scoring here, it's still a chance to make something happen. Really in soccer, anything can happen in the blink of an eye.
We saw Hoot show a brief bit of frustration for a second as he turned away from the ball. Looks to be Villanueva here. Shaping to strike. Another curling ball. Punched away again. Starks is stout.
The few times that he's been called to action, he has delivered.
Villanueva went to the left side of the net this time. Starks still read it well through all the traffic. Portland and Atlanta are on to penalties. Looks like whoever advances through that will have the pleasure of playing Colorado here. In the 64th minute. Colorado Rapids, one of Major League Soccer's original clubs. Founded in '96, won MLS Cup to their name in 2010. Academy products like Cole Bassett and Darren Yappi making significant strides now. And here in the U18s, representing with aplomb. Blue, adding it to himself. Help defense came. Starks diving out on top of that. And a roar from his bench. And Starks puts the finishing touches on yet another clean sheet.
Good work from Starks there, but you could tell there was some confusion before sending that out. Coach told him, just play. And it makes sense. They're dominating in possession right now. So just keep connecting passes, let the clock tick down. You don't have to send it forward and, you know, risk a potential counter. Yeah, you can hear them say, keep it, keep it.
Smart. Just seconds left here for Chicago.
Huge gap there in the middle.
Any second now may seal the deal for this Rapid side.
Yeah, seconds counting down here at this point.
Admirable run through this tournament for Chicago. So many aspirations after their U17s reached the semis last year. Another knockout round appearance in 2025. Running into a brick wall on this Colorado side. This is ripped. Just the fourth shot of the match. Chase Nagel let one go as it tailed away from goal. Nagel starting with the twos in Chicago. Rides his bike 5 miles to the training facility every day. One of the hardest working members of this organization. Him and Chris Cups have been doing this since early in the academy days. The whistle blows. It's another Colorado clean sheet. It's their 5th in 5 games. A deserved, warranted result. Colorado Rapids are on to the semifinals in the U18s.
From top to finish, the full 60 minutes belonged to Colorado Rapids, no doubt.
What a performance. Dominating throughout. Adidas man of the match. The goal scorer in the first half, Maxime Skordo. Scoring in the 23rd. Third goal of the tournament. Put Colorado on top, and they felt in a very fine position from there the rest of the way. Chicago never truly threatened. They did have one free kick when it was 1-0. That forced Starks diving to his left. But through the run of play, very little for the Chicago side today. Another standout performance from this back four for Colorado.
Yeah, they did such a great job of... I was going to say they did just such a great job of handling business from the first whistle. You know, it was just an onslaught of pressure, intensity, made it impossible for Chicago to really get anything going.
We'll be joined by Maxime Skordo in just a moment. Goal scorer today. Another matchup, another moment that he'll remember from this GA Cup run, which now sees Colorado advance to the semifinals. They're getting closer and closer. The U18s and U16s celebrating with each other now. This magical run continuing here for the side from Colorado. Well, Maxime Skordo, he's going to join us in the booth now. Great to have you with us. Congratulations on the win. What a moment for your squad. You're the goal scorer today, the Adidas man of the match. Take us through that sequence there. You put yourself in the perfect spot. It was fantastic delivery from your teammate, and you took advantage.
It was a great ball. I just got the opportunity, and I took advantage of it. So I've been scoring all my life, and I'm still scoring, so.
Well said. Scoring all his life. He continues to do that here.
Right. Let's take a look at that goal. They're going to show you and have you react to it. It's over here on your screen behind you. Your teammate drives it in.
Great to beat the man. Great cross. I'm in space one time. Great touch, great finish, yeah. And then the celebration with my teammates was great too. So,
22 goals for you during the previous campaign. That's what you did at Strikers FC.
Yeah.
It earns you this opportunity here, and obviously you've just continued it. How comfortable do you feel in this system right now? How much are you enjoying the process of your pursuit?
First of all, I want to thank my coach Elliot, who started this, but he's with the first team now, and then obviously Coach Yanni. He's a great coach. He's been coaching us through this and then giving me great opportunities, and I'm just taking advantage of him. So,
what was the game plan going into this? You know that Chicago Fire had some first-team guys, some next pro guys, so it looked like you guys just came out with so much intensity.
Yeah. For us, we'd say they're just another team. We don't care who they are. We're just going to go out and play our game, and I think that's what we did. So
I want to ask you, because we've highlighted the individual play, the goal-scoring sequence. We got to talk about your defense, man.
Yeah.
I mean, another shutout. How you guys doing this right
now? So clean sheet everything. We haven't got scored on the whole tournament,
Nope.
so I think that's great. I like to thank my defense. So defense wins championships, I guess they say.
It's nice to know if you just get one, that may be all it takes to get the dub. Another one, you're on to the semifinals. Good job, man. Way to go.
Thank you.
Well done.
Well done.
All right.
Congrats.
Maxime Skordo and the Colorado Rapids on to the semifinals in the U18s. Thanks for joining us here on the MLS YouTube channel. We switch over to the other field right now. You might have heard some cheers and roars going on behind us. This is Atlanta and Portland and penalties right now. We're in the third round. Everybody's converted from the spot thus far. And now Portland going to step up to the spot.
Definitely want to see how this one closes out.
The winner here will advance to play Colorado in the U18 semifinals. This is Eric Iziota of Portland. Timbers 3 for 3.
You know their goalkeeper coach is taking notes.
Little chirping after with Atlanta.
Nice finish, all net.
And now the pressure back on Atlanta.
There to exchange some words, keep things fun. But yeah, you've got these Colorado guys all peeking over the fence, making sure they know who's up next.
Santiago Pita for Atlanta. Here in round 3, that's an interesting dynamic on that pitch behind us. There's no fencing around the field like we have here on field 1, the main grandstand. So both teams, their supporters lined up along the edge. This is Pita going to knot it up. No problem. 6 for 6 through 3 rounds. Nobody's missed.
Even Stevens all the way around, full 60 minutes, and then here, slotting it away. Again, a good chunk of these games going to PKs. Big part of that is these 30-minute halves. Not having that additional 15 at the end of each half to get something going.
Remember Jonathan Ransom, he was the hero yesterday for Atlanta in the shootout. This is DiCarpio Tejada for Portland. And there's Ransom again. This is what he does.
We'd expect nothing less of Ransom here. He does his homework. He thanked his goalkeeping coach yesterday for giving him all the good notes, knowing which way to go, but ultimately it's his reaction time, his ability that continues to keep his team in the game time after time.
Who's the player of the day here in this tournament yesterday? Looking for another shining moment here on this Thursday. And now, Max Dysonhofer in goal. Big moment here for Portland. Braden Dunham for Atlanta. Steps through, puts it home. And now Atlanta United in prime position to advance to take on Colorado.
Great work there. Just sealing the deal. Potentially the moment that determines a lot. Can he do it again?
It all comes down to Kai Carlson now. He must score, or Portland's run of the championship division is over. Can Ransom possibly stay in front of another here? Slipped in the right side. And Portland will remain under pressure. They need a stop.
Good commit there from Portland. And now it's up to Atlanta to seal the deal and put it away.
Caden Moore. He had the game winner yesterday in the penalty kick. Could he do it again? Caden Moore to send Atlanta through. Yes, sir! Atlanta on to the semis. They're the penalty kick kids in this tournament. 5-4.
And it's the celebration, the dog pile for me here. Let's look back at it. Keith does a good job to guess the direction, but he slides it right under him.
2 days, 2 pressure penalty kicks, and 2 success stories for Atlanta United and Caden Moore. And with that, Atlanta have their next opponents. Rapids taking care of Chicago. Atlanta enjoying the late drama here since the knockout rounds began, but it goes their way again. 4-2 over Milan yesterday, 5-4 over Portland today. And so now we just await the winners of Orlando, Real Salt Lake, Soccer's FC Chicago, and Santos League as well. How much fun was this? We'll be right back in just about half an hour. But here today, to start off our afternoon session, Colorado Rapids and Chicago Fire. The Rapids, a 5th straight clean sheet in this GA Cup. 2-0, they're on to the semis.
This copyrighted broadcast of the 2025 Generation Adidas Cup may not be retransmitted, reproduced, or rebroadcast without the express written consent of Major League Soccer and Player Development, LLC.